we have liftoff.
We have button pushed.
Yes.
And welcome to Entertechment. This is Entertechment show number 199, recorded on October the 12th, Sunday, 2014. On the show, let's introduce to you Kerr Ballantyne and Joe Macer. How are you guys?
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello there.
Good. Hello there.
Please
Good
state the
afternoon,
nature of the
sir.
medical emergency.
It's been a couple weeks since we've all been together.
I'm a
Anything interesting going on that we should discuss before we get down to business?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I bought a 3D printer.
You what?
No way.
I did.
3D. Now, was this 3D printer come assembled, or did you have to assemble it?
I wanted to
Did it
assemble
print itself?
Yeah.
Did it print itself?
but the kit was 2 to 3 weeks to get, and the assembled was like 2 days. So
Really?
shipping. So I was like, all right, I'll get the assembled. I really wanted it to be a kit, but
Was there a cost difference between the two?
let's see, I think it was like $40, something like that.
Difference. Okay.
Something like that. So
Okay.
it was kind of like, all right, I can wait a few weeks, or I can just
Or get it now.
get it now, because it doesn't matter. I'll be messing with it either way. So.
But putting
not-
it
not.
together is more fun. It's chock full of
Right,
frustrations.
and that's what I want. I really wanted to put it together.
Because it just means more every time you print something.
But believe me, though, there have been no lack of frustrations,
Even with the assembled one.
even with the assembled.
Oh, okay. So what are the dimensions? How big is it? Can you print yourself another car?
Well, yes, you could do that. Technically,
One
you could do
part at
that
a time.
with any size printer. Exactly. Depending on how many, how many things you wanted to cut it in, how many pieces, and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. So yes, you could do that.
So is it like 2 foot by 2 foot, or?
The build volume is 6 inches by 6 inches by 6.
Oh, okay.
So it's a cube 6 inches in diameter.
Okay.
Not diameter, 6 inches.
So technically, you could just keep making 6-inch cubes and do your own Minecraft.
yes,
Now,
it
here's
would take a long, very long.
Crap. You always
especially
have time
with
to
Ian right behind you chopping all the blocks up as you.
That's right.
Oh, I just printed that. So here's the $64,000 question. Have you used it to print something, and what was the very first thing you printed?
The first thing I printed was this cube. Like,
You were right, Kerr. He printed a cube.
and I have more cubes. I printed more cubes. They're kind of like dice.
Okay.
But the reason you do that is it's a test print, because
Okay.
you want to make sure you have good adhesion and that things aren't falling off and stuff. So I've been printing lots of them today as I've been trying to calibrate. And I think that's the hardest part, is
The
all
calibration.
the nuances, and okay, here's the here's how thick your first layer is, here's how thick your other layers are, here's how fast it prints, what's the
Okay.
temperature in the room, what's the temperature
Really?
of the PLA, the plastic. There's just so many settings, so many things.
I believe this is a job for John. Used to have my own plastic company, Hitman.
Yeah. Right. I'll come and say,
John,
hey,
I can procure you any type of plastic.
here's what that. So I got that, and then this is my first
Non-cube? Oh
non-
my gosh.
Oh.
Na Batman.
And the reason I did this is because I was trying to print something bigger
Okay.
in the beginning, and I kept having trouble with the ends curling up because it would cool too fast.
Oh,
The bed would be
wow.
cold, and you'd print it down and it would curl up. So I wanted to make sure I had good adhesion to the bed. So I printed 4 of these things before I finally got one that I got it so it would stick and stay on the bed. Because it's one, it has to stick, and then 2, it also has to come off without ruining the thing when it comes off.
Okay. So
So,
is
yeah.
it kind of like in shop class, your very first time making a throwing star?
Yes, this is plastic and battering.
So what materials do you use? What is there an optimal material? Are there different kinds of materials that you can use?
Well, there's 2 main materials. There's PLA, which is that plastic. I'm trying to think of I got to find the stuff on it, so I make sure I say this correct. The PLA filament, and it's supposed to be, isn't it? I thought it was environmentally.
And is this something you can just walk down to Hobby Lobby and get?
No, but I did notice that Radio Shack is going to be carrying it soon,
Really?
and Home Depot will have it before long. So and Dremel just came out with their first 3D printer, so you're going to see this stuff mainstream. But
Oh, wow.
I got to tell you, it's not for the
Faint of heart.
or faint of heart may not be not for
It's
somebody.
not for the masses yet.
It's not for the masses, and if you're not tenacious enough to sit and mess with stuff, it's like, okay. Okay, here it is. So PLA filament is non-toxic resin made of sugar derived from field corn and has a semi-sweet smell like waffles when heated. So
Oh, so your house smells like waffles?
waffles when you're printing,
Oh,
So it's
delicious.
so it's good. And then the other stuff you can get is regular ABS, like ABS plastic, but that's
Okay.
smelly and you don't want to be in the same room with it. And
Huh.
there's more, um, there's different things that you can run into
Is
with
it brittle when you get done with it? Or is it can
It hasn't
smack it
been
on the
too
table?
bad. It's been pretty flexible. I mean,
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Has
I
some
bet I
give
could
to it.
break it. Yeah, it definitely has some gift to it. Give
It's
to
not
it.
like if you drop it, it shatters into a million pieces.
No, and then when you go to print it, they have like infill settings, so you can in here it kind of makes like a little square matrix that builds it up,
Okay.
and then at the top, then it covers it all over. So I mean, you could do 100% infill, and then it'd be solid,
Huh.
but you're going to take up a lot more of your filament to
In
do
time. What, start to finish, how long did it take you to do that Batman?
correctly.
Correct. No, just one. Yeah, just one correctly.
Correctly about. I think this is about a 30-minute print.
Okay.
Incorrectly,
Incorrectly?
it took
2
me
days.
yes, yesterday and today.
So the first one was a waffle. The second one was a guava, and then I made a bat.
And then
Well,
I made a bat symbol.
Right, because I get, something would happen and the edge would curl off, and then it's printing the filament and it sticks on something, and suddenly the whole thing moves.
Oh.
It's like, oh, and then it's all screwed up.
Huh.
But now I've got it. There was an article I read by a guy saying, put this. They have a certain type of painter's tape to put on there, and then he said use rubbing alcohol on the tape before you start it. And so I did that, and it stuck really good. In fact, the first couple times I found I had a problem with my first layer because when I'd pull it off, the first layer would like
Gone.
come apart. So then I had to do some messing with the first layer, and this was the first one that came out decent today. So I'm pretty happy. I'm like, oh, I made something. But there are
I created this.
there are
It's
literally
alive! It's alive!
cosplayer. I mean, you
Uh-huh.
can print the Iron Man helmet, the Halo helmet. You can print all the weapons from Halo,
Oh my goodness.
and you obviously with mine, I'd have to print them in pieces and then
Yeah.
glue them together or something. But these people will do this.
Huh.
Put the thing together, use some Bondo or something to get rid of the where they glued stuff together, sand it down, paint
Yeah.
it, and you've got an awesome looking movie prop.
Wow. I can just see for our friend Kerr, who stepped away for a minute, if you're watching the video, our friend Kerr, this could be boundless as far as making your there he is, making your own miniatures, tabletop miniatures.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, and then and go to
sort
town
of.
painting it. So you're going to ship
Do
that
that.
down to Kerr. He's going to start his painting.
Have you been to thingiverse.com?
No.
That's a MakerBot website, and that's full of things that people have already made that you can freely download and print. And that's
Oh,
mainly what I've been doing. I haven't tried to make any of my own prints yet to
Uh-huh.
design them like in Blender or SketchUp or something. I wanted to get my
Huh.
I feel like I had my printer calibrated first before I could do anything.
Walk
And you know-
before you can run.
I got a 12-year-old, and he's print something, and I'm like, we have to
Patience.
give me a second.
Do
Oh,
Teenage
I just-
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
and then he wants to touch it while it's on the printer, and I'm like, it's hot. Don't mess with it. And there's little filaments that will come off, like threads.
Uh-huh.
Don't pull on that. Start pulling, it'll start unraveling the whole thing until it's done.
Like a string on a sweater.
Exactly. I made that mistake a couple times. Like, oh, what's that?
Oh, I better get that off there.
Yeah, I should have pulled that. Bad
Wow.
move. So it's been really a lot of fun.
Is there a cooling system with it? Do you have to throw water on it, or?
No, there's a little like a muffin fan that's on there, like a hard drive fan.
Okay.
What was one of the coolest things? The first thing you print is a fan shroud. So you print out a little shroud, put it on there, and it's like, oh, you printed that. So you can print all the rest of your accessories depending on.
Wow.
So it's really cool.
So literally, this is the toy that builds itself.
Absolutely. Well, not completely, but
the
you
toy
can
that builds other toys.
build replacement parts. Obviously, motors you couldn't do, and just knives and stabbing weapons, not complex machines.
D1.
But I'm just blown away by it. This is really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it does take a lot of patience because I clicked on something. I was like, oh, and it will compute for you. It goes out. It has this program called Slicer, and it'll slice the model down and tell you, here's how many feet or meters of filament you're going to use. Here's how long it's going to take, and it's like 35 hours to print. I'm like,
Oh.
okay, that's going to be overnight.
That reminds me of the early days of digital rendering things.
Yes,
You have to have patience.
Click the button. I'll be back.
And you make
hope
sure Yeah, make sure everything's the way you want it, because you're going to blow 24 hours of rendering if it's not.
Very, very similar type of.
So it just plugs in USB.
It does plug in USB directly to your computer. I opted for something more complicated, but ultimately cooler. I had an old Raspberry Pi sitting around that I haven't done anything with.
Oh, wow.
So you plug your Raspberry Pi in, and you plug it into the network, and there's a distro of Raspberry Pi called Octopi.
Octopi.
And it essentially creates a web page that you can control the printer from. So anywhere in the house, even with my iPad, I can bring up the printer. I can see where it is. I can make adjustments. I can make a few adjustments. I can start it and stop it.
Okay.
So it's really cool. But I have my main computer that I'll go in and get the model all set up, and then I upload it to the
Raspberry.
server and to the Raspberry Pi and print the thing. Upload it to the bigger thing, the smaller thing, and then I print it, and then I can leave it alone, which is cool because the Raspberry Pi, I can sit there forever. 30 hours, I don't care. If I have my main computer tied up for 30 hours, I'm going to be upset.
I'm going to be antsy.
Yeah. And how long to go before Microsoft makes you reboot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's really cool.
29 hours, 48 minutes.
Now, any of us, if Ian wants to print something, it's just a print server, just like you would have a regular print server.
Send it to the print server.
Now you're printing 3D objects.
Oh, wow. Hey, give me your IP address. I want to send some stuff over there. in the middle of the night, your printer turns on.
Oh, this is the coolest part that I don't have hooked up yet, but I have it coming. Is there's a camera mount for the Raspberry Pi.
Oh my gosh!
You click, and so you can see where it is. You can actually see what's going on.
It shows you a video of the process.
Or you can say, "Hey, click a button, time lapse," and it'll do a time lapse video for you.
Oh my gosh!
So that's next week. But,
next week,
only. But you have to remember, if you're going to do that, then you have to have the what is that? Yakety yak soundtrack going off at the same time, right?
Yakety yak. Don't
talk.
talk.
Bird's the word.
Yeah, bird's the word, or no. What's that from? What's that from Benny Hill?
Yeah.
You got to do that one.
You got to print that in there. Yeah, and you hope. Yeah, it's fun that you just always hope that it doesn't die halfway in the middle of it, and you've wasted so many hours. But it's a learning experience.
Restart.
But
so how much are the filament blocks?
I think I got one for $30. It was like a 2-kilogram thing of filament, so it'll last for a while. But then you can get glow in the dark filament. You can get
my goodness,
different colors, and there's so many. And again, I got the PrinterBot Simple Metal, so it's a nice starter one. I mean, you can spend $3,000 if you want on the MakerBot, the big ones. But I figured let's start with something small, play around with it, learn it. Figured if I'm really going to keep doing this. Rather than going all out for the first one, but so it's really fun. It's been a cool learning experience, and I'm gonna keep doing it.
There you go.
Star Wars. Oh, I found the plans for the full Mandalorian helmet.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And then I've been watching YouTube videos. What a lot of people do is they'll print the prototype with that, and then they'll take it and make a plaster cast of it using the prototype, and then they can make them.
Oh yeah, you can make as many as you want.
Right after that, yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
But the weapons, the weapons.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the cool Halo and Star Wars weapons and lightsabers. You can
make
have
some Lord of the Rings swords.
Yeah, you can make really cool replicas and
6 inches at a time.
Exactly. Yes. And then you hot glue gun them or epoxy them together or whatever it is. But yes, so it definitely is
I'm going to make a Scottish Claymore. It's going to take me a year.
Yeah.
6 inches at a time. Unless you had a network of 3D printers.
Yes. There you go.
You have like 10 of them.
One or 10 of them.
So if you had 1,000 3D printers in a room, all printing at the same time,
you'll eventually get the world's greatest novel.
Yes. I'll have a bunch of plastic.
1,000 printers at 1,000 locations.
They do make a deal. I was looking at somewhere. I have to find it again. That would recover your filament, so that if you have a bad print, you can put it back in there. It'll melt it and re-spool it into filament.
Interesting.
So I'll have to look at that at some point because I've wasted a lot of filament.
Joe's 3D shop.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's fun. I just look at all I need a little strap to go on here. I need, one of the first things I was like, oh, look, Jeannie, we can print chip clips now. So all the bags All our bags of potato chips can be clipped together perfectly. They can be personalized. So there are many very useful things can be done with.
Yes. It's
Never
not
again
just
will I
bat
purchase a
symbols.
chip clip.
Okay.
I will make my
Chip
own.
clip, Batman utility belt. We'll just alternate back and forth.
Figure out which one you want.
Nice. All right, well, let's get started with the show with our kickoff question. Of course, we have Halloween coming up at the end of the month. What is your guys' favorite Halloween movie?
Just one?
Just one. Just off the top of your head.
Ooh. I'm reading a really good book right now. In fact, Kara, I have to tell you about this book. But, Kara, do you have one? Do you have a favorite?
Processing.
You're talking about like creepy.
See,
at first
the
I
thing
thought...
qualify it, so there's lots of cool, scary movies.
What's my favorite Halloween movie? Probably the original Halloween.
The John Carpenter one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike Myers?
Yeah. I like Fright Night, but
I was thinking about that too this week.
Not be my most favorite one.
Yeah.
Thinking about Halloween movies, and you could say, what's your favorite scary movie? But I think Halloween movie, we have ghosts and unexplained phenomenon, whatever. I'm really liking Ghostbusters.
And did you see they're going to do a complete reboot of that?
With the female cast?
With the female cast? I didn't see that.
Yep.
No, that was a joke.
Nope. It's not a joke.
It went from Bill Murray joking about it to it's actually being done.
Rather than do a Ghostbusters 3, they're going to reboot Ghostbusters with an all-female cast.
Well, I have to admit, if they do the female cast that Bill Murray suggested, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, as long as it has Kristen Wiig in it, I'm okay.
What was it? Kristen Wiig,
If you took the cast of Bridesmaids
yeah,
and put proton accelerators on them, there you go.
So Rudolph Maya to play the
Maya Rudolph and Melissa McCarthy and
Christina Wiig and
I
Rose
guess
Byrne.
this is kind of like touching.
There's so many.
Shouldn't be messed with.
Really?
Ghostbusters was great. It was a great one-shot movie. The sequels were horrible. I just don't know if you can recapture that magic. And we're so enamored of reboots lately. Look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Not a reboot of anything, and it was awesome.
Right. Oh, that's getting rebooted next year.
Yeah. It's called Guardians of the New Galaxy.
Of the New Galaxy again. One more time. Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.0.
Between time travel reboots and regular reboots, and let's do something different.
Yeah.
I love Ghostbusters.
Occupy.org has crashed. Oh, that's interesting.
Did we crash a website?
Yeah.
Are you what?
Huh.
What are you saying?
Am I insane? Yes, clinically.
I probably had the wrong.
Well, that's what the doctors keep telling me.
I had myself tested.
I
I went to WebMD and took the little test online. It says I'm crazy.
I took a little 10-question survey. Guess
Also,
what?
oddly enough, I have Ebola and anthrax.
Oh, we could make a bolo.
No, I
No,
said
Ebola.
But I was thinking we could print a bolo, one piece at a time.
So how big's your Jaeger mech? I'm doing it 6 inches at a time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hollow parts in it.
One more piece.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need some more filament.
That's right. It's 50 feet tall, 25. So it's going to take me about $38,000 of filament.
4 generations to do this.
I'm already training my son to take over the role when I get to
right.
Yeah.
Hey, they used to do it with cathedrals and stuff like that back in the Middle Ages. That's all this is.
Same sort of thing. You just got to be patient.
Sorry, just this mental image of a bunch of people sitting around waiting for a block to be built for the cathedral.
Now, they are making
comes
bigger
over.
3D printers. I've seen things where they're going to be building houses with them soon.
Well, no, because they're also remember the other thing also is the plan is NASA wants to look at the technology so they could ship one of them off to the moon. So you land on the moon and you literally use a 3D printer to build everything you need on the moon.
There you go.
And well, remember they also just shipped the first 3D printer that works in 0G up to the International Space Station, so they can start building.
Oh, that's true. They did.
Huh.
So they can do
build,
parts.
replace. Well, yeah, to try to
Replace
have
parts.
it. Try to,
13 had one of those,
yeah,
dude.
Houston,
Okay.
we're out of filament. Houston, we're out of filament.
We have 20 minutes left of oxygen. This is going to be a 30-minute job. Anybody
30-minute
see,
print. Don't mess it up. Don't touch it.
Don't
Yeah.
let it bend.
No, sorry, I just had.
Johnson, you've killed us all.
Why did you? No, it's like this. Okay, well, you take the 3D printer and we'll need you to print these following parts. Oh, just a second. The commander's printing out a new spoon. Hold on.
Yeah.
Cancel
Well-
the print. It takes so hard to cancel the print. It's like 5 minutes. Oh man.
Well, excuse me for wanting nice silverware.
Excuse me. I need to eat my yogurt.
Huh.
That's right. The International Space Station burns up in a fire, twisted mass of molten metal due to the commander making
Yeah, but
a new
that fork
spoon.
looks really sharp.
I know. As he's,
Somebody could.
but I touched it and it's a little warped in the middle. It doesn't work now.
Yeah. Bendy spoon.
Bendy spoon.
We're going to skip down into the show notes for a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about this Empire Strikes Back Uncut that came out this week.
How did that come with Halloween?
Well, we just moved
Are
on
you
from
doing
there.
a segue? Are you doing a segue?
We are second.
He,
So-
he, yeah.
I think you jumped the track.
A year ago, jumped the shark. A year ago, they did Star Wars Uncut, where they asked all the Star Wars fans to submit. Could be, one scene, could be clippets of a scene, their own interpretation of Star Wars, but redo Star Wars shot for shot.
Mm-hmm.
And so it came out beautifully. It was a wonderful labor of love. Well, now they've done it with The Empire Strikes Back, with the blessing of Lucasfilm. But the really cool thing is that there's a lot of extra stuff in there. I mean, it's watching the movie, but it's also they throw in a bunch of extra things. It could be animation from one scene to live action to one scene to claymation to one scene to computer graphics to one scene.
That's awesome.
And if you've got 2 hours and 8 minutes to sit down and watch this, it is absolutely awesome
Huh. All right. Well, I will have to look at that
when you have some time.
when I have some time. I haven't made it through Rebels yet. I made it through the first 10 minutes of Rebels, I think.
Oh, you haven't watched the whole thing?
No, I was
It's-
printing.
I was printing. What, you were just watching it print for that whole time?
Well, that's the
Yes.
problem is I kept coming back to look at it, and then I'd be like, okay, I'll go do something for 10 minutes, and I come back, oh, this is screwed up. I got to start over. And while it was printing, I'd be researching my next print or trying to figure out why the last one didn't come out right.
So, of the 10 minutes that you saw of Rebels, I'm assuming it's the first 10 minutes of the show?
Yes.
Okay. What were your general thoughts about it?
I don't know. It was fun to be back in the Star Wars universe again.
Yeah.
I thought it was, I can't get a whole lot of stuff from the first 10 minutes, but
Right.
I wanted to watch the rest
But
of it.
you got a
I looked
general
better than
feel-
Gotham.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, did you watch the second and third episode of Gotham?
No, I'm done with it.
Oh,
They lost the first.
give it.
If it's around for season 2, I'll go back and watch
Oh,
it.
it's already
for the love-
signed for season
Oh,
2.
for the love of God, man. Why aren't you watching it? What's wrong with you?
I didn't like the first one.
I agree that they threw a lot at you in the first,
the first
episode.
one-
Now, the
first
second
pilot
episode,
was horrible.
yeah,
The first pilot was horrible.
they threw everything in the
The
kitchen
only
sink
good
at
scene
you.
about it was literally the worst scene of the whole. The best
The
scene.
best
The
scene was
best
the
part
worst scene.
was the worst part of it is when that kid screams after who's playing Bruce Wayne when his parents are killed in front of him. That scream is just horrifying.
Yeah,
Still horrifies.
and I
that's pretty
still
good.
think that should not have been in the show.
And we talked about this last week, how they should have just had Gordon and Bullock there in the station, and then something comes over the scanner of
They get a call.
rather than actually witnessing the murder of
We should
Bruce
know
Wayne's
who it
parents.
is. It's police procedure. They should show up and through the course of the investigation, oh, hey, this is the Waynes. Oh my gosh. But to have it laid out for us almost felt like they were dumbing the whole thing down.
Yeah.
Yes, they were because remember, Hollywood does not accept the presence that there are still people out there who have never heard of Batman. They are young
But
and
you
stupid,
can- You can
and they
still
don't
tell
understand.
the story without having to show the bat signal recently printed out on a 3D printer near you. But the second episode was a lot better. I think it kind of settled down a little bit. You focused on the Penguin coming back. you're starting to get into some more relationships.
Oh, I have to admit, the guy who's playing the Penguin, at
Oh.
first I thought he was good, and then by the third episode, I
Yeah.
agree with you. It's like, okay, he is completely. It's a very interesting blend, and it's like, okay,
To me, he is the star of the show right now.
he might be.
Really?
Yeah,
All right.
the guy playing Enigma, the Riddler.
Oh, I want
Yeah.
him to be shot.
I
want
think
him to
he's
be
a
shot.
little over the top.
Yeah, somebody needs to take that guy in the back and literally just beat him with a baseball bat for
Yeah.
a while.
But
Well, that's what I'm hoping though. Maybe when they beat him with a baseball bat, he'll actually calm down.
That's what'll turn him into the Riddler.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's getting better. So if you get some time, Joe, in between your prints,
Okay.
go ahead and check it out. But let's
Well,
talk a
once I
little
get
bit
it
about.
dialed in and I'm doing these 20-hour prints, I'll have plenty of
You have
time.
plenty of time to sit back.
Yeah.
Nothing but time.
That's right.
But for Star Wars Rebels, the thing that I really liked about it is that it did bring back that old Star Wars feel. And the first episode, Spark of Rebellion, was a 44 minute episode.
Mm-hmm.
And when it finished at the end, I actually thought that it was only a half-hour episode and there was another half coming.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize 44 minutes had flown by.
Cool.
It went by very fast. Without throwing too much into it, you start to get introduced to the characters.
Mm-hmm.
It starts to set it up a little bit. Now, here's the thing that has me very frustrated. So I paid for it on iTunes,
Mm-hmm.
and got to watch it on iTunes. And now they're going to show that same episode again on ABC
Mm-hmm.
here in the next couple weeks. And they're adding a scene that has Darth Vader in it as voiced by James Earl Jones.
What?
Yeah.
They're adding a scene?
They're adding a scene to it.
Was that
So-
a focus group? What?
So this is
Yeah,
this
it's
is
More
like,
Darth Vader.
when you buy
that's exactly what it is.
this is like when you buy a video game now and then there's DLC that comes after it. They're going to make you buy this extra scene just so you can have Darth Vader in your episode.
Oh, so you don't get the extra scene from the
I don't-
iTunes.
I don't know yet. Now, if they should, to make it right, they should just say, okay, here's a version with Darth Vader. You can download it.
You
and
guys
watch
better make it right.
it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's going to be very interesting. Did anybody catch the season premiere of Flash?
Yes, I did watch that.
How'd you
No,
like?
I did watch
I
something.
didn't watch that actually.
Did you like it?
That was okay.
Yeah.
Better than Gotham.
For the pilot episode, it was better than Gotham. Yeah.
I love the crossover with Arrow.
That was a good scene.
That was cool. I wanted more, but I was like, okay, this is an interesting start.
Yeah.
There's definitely some stuff going on.
I like how they tease. Was it Professor Flash or?
Professor. What?
Yeah. Was it?
That's a
in the
different
comic books?
show.
No,
and I
in
think
the
it's
comic
adult-only
books, he's
content.
like Professor Time or Professor Flash or whatever, and he has knowledge of the future, and he turns into Professor Speed or something like that. And so they really teased. They dropped a whole bunch of comic book references, but I really like it. The guy who's playing the Flash is very likable, and I like how as opposed to Arrow, where they didn't have Detective Lance. Kind of, he doesn't want his daughter anywhere near Arrow because Arrow's a vigilante and he's not above the law. Here in Flash, the police investigator, the police detective, actually knows who Flash is
Yeah,
and is not.
I like that.
yeah.
So sometimes it was like Grimm when it first started out. Nobody knew he was a Grimm.
Yeah.
And then finally, once they got that out of the way, and everybody knows he's a Grimm now and knows about the vest, and it's like, oh, okay, this is cool. We can move forward.
Yeah.
Because the whole, oh, you didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm tired of this.
It's just weighing very thin.
Yes,
It weighs on me.
too much.
What?
You heard about the new Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon sequel?
Heard of it, yes.
Yes.
Kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle
It's a kerfuffle.
surrounding it. So Netflix is going to be producing the sequel to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon with none of the original cast members.
Well, because
So-
he died and she jumped off the mountain,
Well, they
Yeah.
could do flashbacks. I mean,
which
they
still
can still
bothers
have-
me because it's like she can slow fall.
yeah.
How does
it's
that-
Not gonna, she's
how
not
do
gonna
you-
hurt. She'll just land on her feet.
Yeah.
Like a cat, like a kitty cat.
That was the weird part.
Yeah.
Lost in translation.
She's falling off the bridge and going to heaven. It's a very translucent. Oh, for the love of God!
So anyway, so Netflix says we're going to be producing this movie. We are going to release it on Netflix the same day it's released into theaters. And now theater owners are saying, yeah, we're not going to run that movie. So the chains are getting together, and they've had this real problem with day and date movie releases.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they say they're going to obviously lose money, because who's going to come to the theater and see the movie when they can just watch it at home? They're not a fan of the whole day and date release. And you'll notice now that some of the iTunes releases, they're becoming only iTunes releases.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be, either a week before they hit the theaters, but the theaters are saying, hey, if it's out on home video, we're not going to carry it in our.
This is it. It's coming to a head. Something's got to happen.
Somebody's got to give.
I think you released
Wasn't this the same story we heard back in the day when iTunes and MP3s first started, with people releasing albums and everybody said, "This is it. We will not have this happen."
And where's those CD stores now?
Well, they're CD.
Yes.
And they're
where's those Sam Goodies and Music Lands and
Music Pluses and you name it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's odd, isn't it? They've all seemed to have wandered away,
gone into the ether.
Well, no, but I think that's what we're at. This is going to be determined by the purchaser. So, and considering that right now Netflix, I mean, you got to admit, Netflix has come in the last 2 years, has come out of, we are failing, we are dying, everything's horrible, the ship is on fire and sinking. I mean,
we're the king of the world.
Almost. I mean, between
it's like a reverse Titanic.
Right. Well, between House of Cards and Orange Is the New Black, they have literally they've like taken
over the Emmys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's like everything Emmy is now going to Netflix, and I have to admit, I have been purging my way through Orange Is the New Black, and I've decided that I never want to go to a female women's prison ever.
Okay. And it's funny because here in our town we do have a female women's prison, and so the jokes are.
Yeah, I know. I've been writing letters there looking for a pen pal. Don't worry.
Looking for a little correspondence there?
Yeah.
We'll discuss that in a separate episode called Not Safe for Entertechment.
Yeah.
I'm getting some lovely letters from a
woman named Ice Pick.
her inside name is called
Molly.
Called Stabby. I mean,
wow.
Senorita Stabby. I think we have a chance.
She gets out in 2 years.
She gets out in 2 years for good behavior, or she doesn't shank her roomies again. So,
Yeah.
Just kidding. We apologize to anybody in the prison listening to us. All three of you. Go.
So, you guys were a fan of the Dredd movie with Carl Urban, right?
I was a huge fan.
Oh, I liked it. Yeah, that was fun.
It was good. There may be some more Dredd on the way. The producer of the Dredd movie is trying to get a web series going, maybe like 10 to 12 episodes.
And
interesting.
Not using the theater again.
Trying to get Carl Urban on board. So,
this seems to be a common theme.
Carl's got time now. He's not doing Almost Human anymore. So
he's got a little free time.
Yeah.
Anybody go see? I know it just opened this weekend. Dracula Untold.
Nope.
There is an article that this could be the start of a new Dracula franchise.
Oh, for the love of God! I hope not.
Which I think it came in number 2 over the weekend as far as box office, and it did moderately okay, $20 to $25 million. But it'd be interesting. Luke Evans, I like Luke Evans.
Oh no, I have nothing but love for him. I just looking at the trailers. It's that on the Joe scale, it's a 1 star. I'm gonna, if I happen to run across it on HBO,
if it happens to be playing,
if I'm stuck on a plane flying across the Atlantic for 4 or 5 hours, then yeah, okay, I'll watch. But it's I don't know what it is. I think it's the whole we're gonna turn Dracula into an action adventure anti-hero part is.
Oh, but like, the whole thing is it's a new franchise, though. They're going to have all the new monsters. You're going to have Werewolf again. You're going to have Frankenstein. I think it's kind of going to be like their X-Men.
The M-Men? Monster
Which-
Men?
By the way, Kerr, since you're a fan of Supernatural, I have a book for you to read. It's called Monster Hunter International.
Yeah.
I think I read a review about that one.
I'm on the third book right now. It's kind of like the Supernatural, except that the government knows about Supernaturals, and then there are companies that work for them, kind of on freelance, that go out and take care of these creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And
Take them
it's
out,
fun.
capture them, or what?
No, they kill them. Take
They
them out.
kill them? Oh, wow.
Take 'em out.
Now, see, that's where the movie Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman
Oh, I know that
could
that one
had potential.
That
one
movie,
was actually really good right up until in my opinion.
Opening credits.
No,
it was. I agree, Matt. I was like, there's so many cool elements, but I just was like, crap, what happened here? You know, I just felt like it should have been a way better movie.
no, I agree with you on that
And
one.
and Frankenstein, to me, was arguably the most interesting of all the characters in that movie, and you hardly get to see him, and you're like, I want to know more about him.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the deal there? And Hugh
No, I know,
Jackman,
yeah, I thought
werewolf thing, it's, Wolverine? I don't know. You know, I mean, that just didn't.
Yeah, but again, that's one of those. Somebody had a good concept, and then as they made it, you can just see they just started.
It's
They
like
just-
starting a 3D print, and it looks really good. But then when it starts to spool out, you're like, "Oh, what happened here?
And
Oh
it just
man!"
progressively gets worse and worse and
It's
worse,
worse
until
and
you
worse.
hit cancel.
To hit cancel, but they didn't hit cancel.
They did.
We're gonna finish this. I don't care how ugly
Hey,
it
where's
looks.
the guy who's supposed to hit cancel?
Yeah,
He's on a break.
Yeah, no, that's the Van Helsing movie. It's like there are parts of it that are good, and then like there's other parts you go, oh no, you never made your decision.
Yeah.
Are you going to be a action adventure, a comedy action adventure, a serious action adventure,
Or a horror
you know,
movie.
or a horror movie? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Pick.
one.
And it's a waste because really, I mean, I agree with Joe. This Frankenstein monster was awesome.
Yeah.
The guy who was playing Dracula was really good at first,
At
and then
first.
towards the end is like, did they stop paying him like last?
the check stopped clearing.
Yeah, is that what happened? Because he's just like, well, I'm just gonna start phoning this in a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of potential.
And and the brides, and I mean, it has its moments.
They
but
should have just taken Frankenstein's monster and made that the only monster in the movie.
Yeah, but remember, Van Helsing is traditionally the hunter down of is.
Oh, I thought of my favorite Halloween movie,
Okay.
Dracula 2000.
Really?
That's a fun.
Dracula
That is
2000.
that to me was
Okay.
a really cool interpretation of who Dracula is and what became of him after the story.
Okay. Huh.
I just thought of that the other day. I was like, I haven't seen that in a while. Because I
Okay.
like the idea that Van Helsing had captured Dracula at some point, but was not able to kill him. But he siphoned off some of his blood through leeches so he could keep himself alive long enough to keep Dracula imprisoned until he could figure out how to kill him.
Huh.
And
Okay.
have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's been a while. And it had some really good fight scenes in it, too.
Yep. So I don't know if that's that's probably not my favorite movie ever, but it just came to me. I was like,
Okay.
oh, that's a fun one to watch.
That would be a good one. What's the What's the John Carpenter's? Is it John Carpenter's Dracula? He did a
Vampires
Dracula movie.
on Dracula on Mars or whatever he did.
Oh, geez. Ghosts of Mars. Was that what that was?
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's another one of those that I was like, oh, this could be so cool.
So
Oh, what
much
happens?
better.
Yeah. Didn't make it.
You had potential.
Didn't happen.
Huh.
But you were loved, and you threw it all away.
You had it. You blew it all up.
Exactly.
So at a recent conference, the developers behind Star Citizen, that has drawn in what, $8, $9, $10 million in crowdsourced funding already, showed a video of what it's going to look like when you're in your ship, flying to a planet and landing. Which may not seem like a big thing, but if you watch it, this is like, oh my gosh, you could be playing this game and starring in your own science fiction movie. So watch the video. It is pretty cool. It's just a demo for right now, and I have no idea
It's
when
a
Star
beta.
Citizen.
And when it's released, it's actually going to be 8-bit.
That's right. That was just the demo.
Yeah, it's fully rendered.
Again,
But
bit demo.
take a look at it, because we've talked about this before, how this year and especially next year is going to be the year of the space simulator. We're going to have Elite going against Star Citizen, going against a couple other
When did we discuss
space games coming out.
I missed that meeting.
It was a few weeks ago. Also, if you're into free games, a very good game from EA is called Dragon Age Origins, which is free now.
It's free?
It's free.
I never finished.
Oh.
It's a great game. I got about halfway through it.
Oh. Well, it's free now, so.
Well, good.
If you never played it, there's some guys at work who haven't played it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's from their On the House series. I already had it, so I was glad I got Bejeweled 3. So. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Entertechment. As always, you can go back and you can now watch our past episode. Well, there's one past episode that you can watch on video, but you can listen to the other 197 episodes that we have there on our webpage at entertechment.com. You can find us on Facebook and on Twitter, Google+, Stitcher as well. So on behalf of Kerr Ballantyne and Joe Macer, I'm Matt Davenport, and that's a wrap.